Hi everyone, I'm Sandy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a little book haul video for you combined with some fun bookstore footage. I have been traveling a bit. We were in New York for my husband's birthday, and as part of that I got to go to probably one of my bookstore bucket list kind of places, which was the Strand. I had heard so much about the Strand and I have really wanted to see it for quite a while. It ranks right up there for me with going to see the Brattle or going to see Powell's in Portland. I've been to Powell's once, but yeah, it fell right along with that. So the Strand in New York City is absolutely just incredible independent bookstore. They had a lot of construction going on outside, so unfortunately I couldn't get a lot of great footage out there, and I just kind of wandered around going in the store and immediately got overwhelmed. That happens a lot of times in bookstores like this that have incredibly high shelves and have a lot going on. It's like I get in selection paralysis again, and I end up picking up the weirdest random assortment of books, and I don't even know why. Sometimes I'm buying the books that I'm buying, and that certainly happened at the Strand. But it was really interesting layout. You have all those tables that you wander around, really tall stacks of books in the back, shelving of books in the back. It does have multiple floors. I did go up to the upper floor and went to the rare book section to see if maybe they had any of the Margaret Atwood books that I was looking for, and unfortunately they did not, but it was still an incredible experience. The one thing I was very surprised by is that it was very hot in New York and the store was incredibly hot, and I just wonder, like, how are they, is that good for the books? I would have thought no. That was a very big surprise. Never been in kind of like a bookstore like that was quite so warm, but absolutely wonderful experience. Very nice people, very helpful. When I was asking about whether or not they had the Margaret Atwood books, I had to find a book and someone helped me do that. And so yeah, it was quite the experience. I would highly recommend a visit to the Strand. I also love in the comments down below, do you have a bookstore that's kind of on your bookstore bucket list? Definitely leave me that information. I would love to hear that, because I know which ones are kind of have been on mine. Like Shakespeare and Company was one, Powell's in Portland is another, but I would love to know what is on your bookstore bucket list. All right, so enough of that. What is on, or what books did I end up picking up? So like I said, most of these books are, I also have some books I picked up from Barnes & Noble. I went to a Shakespeare and Company in New York. So I picked up a wide variety of different books. Some I know why I picked up, some I don't know. And some I actually picked up here but haven't shared yet. So I'll go through all of those. So the first book is actually, the reason why I bought it is because I ended up watching American Fiction on the plane, and loved that movie quite a bit and really wanted to read the book. Once I saw that it was a book that Percival Everett had written. I haven't read anything by Percival Everett and really want to. And the book is called Erasure. It has a fake sticker on the front of it. Now, and the major motion picture American Fiction. I actually had to ask them where this was at. And for a brief moment, I was concerned because I thought they were going to take me to the African Studies section, which is part of what's in this book, and thankfully they didn't. They took me to a table that had motion picture kind of ones on it. So very, very, very well done movie, and so I really wanted to read the book. That's why I picked up this one. All right, the second one that I have for you, the only reason I can say I bought it, well, there's two reasons. One, it is a 1001 book. If you're not familiar, I am reading books off of the 1001 books you must read before you die list. So I do have a reason, but the other reason was because it has a sticker that says Strand value. And I like a good sale. So I think that's pretty much why I ended up picking up this one. The French Lieutenant's Woman by John Fowles. I have read other books by John Fowles. I've read The Collector, which is incredible. If you liked You by Carolyn Kepnes, you would like The Collector. But this one, I don't know much about it. It is a little bit bigger than I would love it to be. I do love that cover though. And I'm really, really interested in reading this one. I have no idea when I'll read it, but it will go on my 1001 bookshelf, which is over here where you can't see it, and I will pick it up at some point. All right, the next book is one that my nephew, who was in New York with us celebrating my husband's birthday, said I should read. And it goes right along with those books that will make me cry. And that is The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. This particular book has a lot to do with someone who is sick and the year of that. And that's about all I know. But my nephew and I have very, very similar tastes in reading. And he recommended this one for me. So hopefully I'll be able to prioritize this one and maybe have another video at some point of 5 books that people thought would make me cry. I think that would be really a fun one to do as well. And whether or not they actually did. This one I have high hopes that it would definitely do that. So yeah, The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. And the last one I picked up is the second book in kind of a series, not really a series, it's just a similar theme, and that is Scarred by Emily McIntyre. The book number 1 is Hooked, and so I read that in May, and that book is very twisted. I had read the excerpt on it at one point, and it lived up to that reputation that was in that excerpt. Very explicit content, very spicy content, if you want to call it that, combined with character names that were from a children's story, which made it just very bizarre. But I wanted to read the next one. This one, Scarred, is supposedly based off of characters in The Lion King. And so I'm a little bit terrified of it. The author's note in this one says, Scarred is a dark royal romance. It is a fractured fairy tale, not fantasy or a retelling. The main character is a villain. If you're looking for a safe read, you will not find it in these pages. Scarred contains mature and graphic content that is not suitable for all audiences. Reader discretion is advised. Okay. I mean, that definitely was true in Hooked. There was a lot of content in it that was dark. It pushed the boundaries a bit in some cases. And I would say not for everyone. I'm guessing that this one is probably the same. But I do love this cover. Oh, so pretty. I do love a good cover. The next thing that I bought was actually something that I picked up at Barnes & Noble, and it is Myrtle, Volume 1. Alice over Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, I think, had asked me if I'd ever played any of these, and I think Ollie over at Criminally has been doing a series where they're solving riddles or solving logic puzzles. If you're not familiar with this, what you end up getting is something that looks like this, and you get this grid that's down here, and you get clues. And so using the clues, you have to mark out which part of this to try and figure out which character did which thing. And then at the very end, you write over here who, what, and where. And then you get to check and see if you were correct. I have done a number of them. Now you can see in here and kind of figured out the pattern a little bit for this kind of a grid. So we'll see, because as you go through, they get more and more complicated. But I did pick up this one. I am a nerd. Yes, I like those kinds of things. The next several books are ones that I had picked up here. I don't have a good reason why I picked these up, other than I've been branching into fantasy. I do like a little bit more of a young adult fantasy sometimes, it seems. And so I did pick up some of these because of that. The first one, and also because of the silly Barnes & Noble, buy one, get one 50% off. I'm a sucker for that as well. I just, for whatever reason, I can't not buy the second book. I have to buy another one. So the first one is Legend Born by Tracy Deonn. I've seen this one around, but hadn't ever read it. I don't know anything much about this one. It says some legacies are meant to be broken. After her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family, memories, or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her first night on campus. Ooh, okay. So very interested in it. It has one of those stickers on it though. So very interested in this one. Like I said, kind of, I think more young adult fantasy. If she's 16, that would make sense. The next one I also know absolutely nothing about, and that is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Again, this cover. But see, look at that, 50% off. That is what did it. And so on the back, it says a magnificent debut. Admit 1 to be used to gain entrance into Caraval. Main gates close at midnight. Anyone who arrives later than this will not be able to participate or win this year's prize of one wish. Oh, okay. That font on this, by the way, is so incredibly tiny. That's why it was taking me a while to read that. So that is the next book I have bought. I did end up picking up The Wicked King by Holly Black. I had read The Cruel Prince fairly recently and decided to go ahead and pick up this one, the continuation of the story. If you haven't read The Cruel Prince, it is actually very well done. The ending got me, and so this one is the continuation of that. I've read maybe the first few pages and then put it down. I'm not sure why, but I haven't been in much of a reading mood at all recently. I don't know. Something's going on. And the last book that I have is this one, Guild by Raven Kennedy, the Plated Prisoner series. And I love that cover. It's so pretty. But again, a gilded cage is still a prison. Okay. Lots of, like I said, kind of young adult, maybe fantasy, reading more and more of that genre lately. So yeah, I mean, I got a wide mix of books, but some of them I don't really know why. Should I try and do a stack? I want to do a stack. I want to do it over here. Guild, The Wicked King, Caraval. Oh, Legendborn. I'm trying. Hold on. Scarred, which is upside down. No, that's right. Scarred. The Year of Magical Thinking. The French Lieutenant's Woman. Oh no. Erasure by Percival Everett. And the Myrtle book, which I had to put at last on the top because there's a pen in there. So that is my book haul that I have. I'm going the wrong way on my unread TBR. I was trying to get it below 200 and it's kind of creeping back up again. We may have to go back on a read what you own challenge again. So that is what I ended up buying at the different bookstores. I really had a good time at the Strand. Like I said, please leave me a comment of your if you're on your what bookstore is on your bookstore bucket list. I would love to hear that. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, thanks. Bye.